Welcome to SwitchCorner, my name is Alex. Today we're going to be taking a look at my favourite Switch eShop deals covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. If you do want the budget, then check out Thursday's under $10 edition. We had a really strong selection this week. With that though, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals near daily, and let's get started. As always then, I do have two winners to announce for two $10 eShop gift cards later in the video and two more to give away. All you need to do to enter, drop a comment down below and the winners they'll be announced in next week's video. Then if you are grabbing anything, consider using cornershop.gg for your eShop credit. It's instant email delivery, and if you use code CORNER at checkout, you'll receive 10% off. You save a little extra and the channel gets a small kickback. Star Wars The Force Unleashed then to kick us off, and while Aspyr have definitely had a rocky history with Switch Star Wars ports, it was definitely one of their better attempts. It's also a Star Wars game that got a hard time at launch, but I always felt like it was a little underappreciated. In this one though, we are Darth Vader's secret apprentice, that is Starkiller. It makes for a unique spin on the formula. A third-person action-adventure though, it has great lightsaber combat, the force powers are an absolute blast, it packs motion controls though not as strong as the original Wii implementation, and it even then has a 1v1 duel mode for local multiplayer. I just love the locations here and that narrative. As I said, it's not the usual, Star Wars affair, it gives us a new angle, and yet it's taking place prior to A New Hope. Then finally, it's a new low price, 25% off, and you can find my full review in the pinned comment below. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim then, and this is a quick mention, I feel like it needs no introduction, the extremely famous RPG that has found itself to pretty much every single electronic device in your household. I'm personally awaiting the fridge and microwave edition. Its staying power though, you cannot argue with it, and the Switch port, it's definitely impressive what they managed to deliver. Come here though, slay dragons as the hero, and like some Zelda goodies if you have the amiibo, and yeah, it's matching the low price of 50% off, and that price, it seems to be one we're stuck with because we've now been getting this same amount since launch. A little golf journey then for an indie drop. I was impressed with this, and my full review, it's in the pinned comment below. It's a new low price though, 30% off. The name, it should give you a hint of what's to come. It's essentially these small isometric locations that you must golf around, but I will add here, do not let the golf in the name put you off. This is more puzzle game than anything else. It's just relaxed stuff though, there's tons of collectibles, the game packs a ton of options as well around its difficulty, making it as simple or as difficult as you want it to be. My two main issues, the putting line, it's a little difficult at times to read, and then the music, it just doesn't really add anything, it feels extremely generic. That said though, I think overall it's worth it, and I do think it's a nice one to play in handhelds. Doom Slayers Collection then, I actually spoke to Doom 2016 in my Thursday edition. This I actually didn't pick up on at the time, so I just wanted to point it out today. It's a bundle for a few extra bucks, and it's a new low price with 75% off. It is a monster install size, so do be aware of that going in, but it packs not only Doom 2016 but 1, 2, 3 and 64 as well. All fantastic games. Doom 3 is particularly underrated in my opinion. It lent more into a slower pace and the horror of this demon-infested world. You're obviously out to defend it, but yeah, good stuff, kind of a classic first-person shooter. Arcade Spirits, the new challenges though, and it was a recent release, and while I'm not a massive visual novel fan, one occasionally gets me, and that was the case here. Really enjoyed the first entry, so I was actually pretty psyched for this follow-up, and I actually really liked it. Basically though, we get an AI assistant who pushes us out of our comfort zone to chase our dreams and maybe even find some romance. The latter, it's not for me personally, and it is completely optional. I just thought this did a great job over the original at creating a more high-stakes story. The graphics and that stylistic nature of it, it's been elevated. And yeah, we're basically creating an esports team and must take them to the top. It's not constant reading though. There's a simple arcade minigame. It acts kind of like rock, paper, scissors. And then we'll often be choosing responses, locations, and the next individual we want to interact with. Watch my full review in the pinned comment. This is a new low price then, 15% off, and not huge, I know, but not particularly expensive to begin with, and a very recent release. Death End Request 2, then it comes with a stipulation, honestly. If you have no other system to play this on, then I do think it's worth it, but it's not without its performance problems, and if you do have another system, you should definitely head there. I do still want to shout it out though, because it has its fan base for sure, and I absolutely understand the appeal. You can see my full review as well, that is in the pinned comment below. The idea though, you've come to a mountain town, you're searching for your sister missing, and you find yourself in this kind of school environment. In the daytime it's all about conversations, you know, visual and novel style, but there's some sinister things going on here with all sorts of almost demons. At night, that's when things become particularly manic. It becomes an RPG with exploration and combat, and that combat, yes, it is turn-based, but it's a little more action-focused due to what's known as a knockback system. It basically deals additional damage, and it's extremely flashy with its visuals. I do suggest though, check out the full review with this one. I'd make sure it's going to be one for you, but I did end up still seeing the charm, and it's a new low price here, that is 60% off. The Wild at Heart then I picked up after launch, played it on another system originally, but the Switch, it was definitely the perfect home for it. It's got a really clean, charming visual style that absolutely pops. I spent most of my time with this one in handout, and honestly, it just felt right for the experience. An open world like exploration puzzle game, you will basically herd these creatures and leverage them to assist in all sorts of activities like building up a location or of course heading into battle. The story is simple, although find a missing friend who you arrived with, and the big, I guess, addiction here, it's the collectibles to build out your team, or I guess, so to speak, team. I'd watch a full review as it is a really unique combination of elements, but it's a new low price, that is 33% off. Neptunia, SENRAN, KAGURA, Ninja Wars then, it definitely won't be for everyone, but I reviewed it here on the channel, really enjoyed it. It's also a new low price then, that is 50% off. Now, it's a simplistic hack and slash RPG with 10 playable characters to explore this world with. It's all about warring factions story wise, and I'd describe these story elements here as leaning into visual novel. In these locations though, we can start to provide a stat boost and pick up items, and in combat then it's going to be free exploration in its movement and definitely some decent flashy visual effects. The challenge can definitely be here as well, but you do get options around it. It's far from a perfect game, but I had fun with it, and it's a new low price here, 50% off. It's a considerable drop as well, considering this, it is a relatively recent release. You can see my full review though in the pinned comment down below, and the main complaint I see in the comments over there is the cast of characters. It's just too small. It should be expanded, whether that is going to be free content or even some paid DLC. Our first winner of the week then, that is going to be Mirage, who kept the bank account locked down last week but celebrated their birthday with the Xenoblade Chronicles games. A lot of gameplay ahead of you there. Congrats though and happy birthday, Mirage. Drop me an email to claim your code, and everyone else, there's a second winner coming up here shortly in the video. Our penultimate game of the video then, that is Demon Turf. This one, it's one of the best platformers on the system. The idea though, we find ourselves in the demon world, we want to take control, so we set out to beat down on the leaders and become the Demon Queen. It's got this fantastic visual style that combines 2D characters with a 3D world, but it looks fantastic and it actually works together really well. The gameplay though, it's a huge amount of platforming with combat. You can freely experiment with checkpoints as well. The game's combat's probably the weakest element, but still far from bad, and it packs a huge amount of reasons to head back in. Also, it's a lengthy story, this one. The average runtime, it's right around 15 hours. If you want a cheaper maybe spin on this, maybe look to its follow-up, which was a budget release Demon Turf Neon Splash. I have a review of that which I will link down below. That is platforming only, that release with a focus on speedrunning. Our second winner then, Sonics, I hope I'm pronouncing that somewhat right, who highlighted Company Man and checking out the demo first. Congrats though, drop me an email to claim your code, and everyone else, remember to drop a comment down below for your chance to win in next week's video. Cuphead and the delicious last course then to close us out, and this is a bundle of both the base game and the DLC with a first time sale that is going to be 22% off. If you do want just the base game as well, it's also on sale, but easily with this one all content comes highly recommended. A boss rush experience. It has a few platform focused levels in the base game, but it's mostly 2D side scrolling ultra challenging boss encounters. Few games have delivered an experience as rewarding as this one, and the budget DLC then added a huge amount of content with a whole new island and new bosses to face. No platforming moments in the DLC, but I was fine with that. They've always been kind of a minor focus. Looks stunning as well, and the soundtrack, it is another level. It's about time though we get the physical release. Now we see all the content out. It is definitely well deserved. And that is the video down. Will you be adding anything to the library or holding onto that cash? Remember then to head to Thursday's edition where we got one of the best under $10 sales I've seen in a long time. With that then though, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals near daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.